This is the plaintiff, Manuel Phillips. He says he brought his car to the defendant's shop because he was having problems starting it up. The defendant charged him $550 for a repair. The problem, though, persisted, and when he took it to another mechanic, he was told the defendant's repair wasn't needed. That's right, he replaced a perfectly good part, which didn't need fixing. And he wants his $550 returned. That's why he's suing him. This is the defendant, Noel Dizon. He says he was hired to install a new fuse box in the plaintiff's car, and now that he has another problem with it, he wants him to fix it for free. Well, it doesn't work for free. The guy can take it to another shop to get his throttle hose fixed, and he wants nothing to do with him because he's a hothead. He's accused of not fixing the right thing. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $200 for money he mistakenly refunded.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff says the shady defendant supposedly fixed his car, but when he got it back, it had the same problem he had before he brought it in. He wants his money back. But the defendant says he fixed the fuse box on the plaintiff's car, but now he has another problem, and he's not fixing that unless he gets paid. It's the case of blowing a fuse.
Thank you, Doug.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Phillips, you're suing LA Tint Incorporated, doing business as Automod Racing, represented here by Mr. Dizon, for $550 that you say they owe you and won't pay you. Tell me what happened.
Yes, Your Honor. On the 18th, I went in and took my car to him to be repaired. And
when you took your car to him to be repaired, who is it you spoke to? Do you remember?
I don't know what relation she is to him. Her name was Jean.
Is that your daughter?
Yes.
Okay. So what do you tell Jean?
I told Jean I need my car fixed.
Did you say what was wrong with it?
No, I told her it kept cutting off. It wouldn't restart after you drive it a while and it heat up and you cut it off, it wouldn't crank back up. I got a new battery, a new starter for it, and it still had the occurring problem. So I took it to them, who was supposed to be electricians, to have them fix the problem.
Okay, did you bring a part with you?
No, the guy she had working on, a guy named Lloyd, I think he came to you too, right? Lloyd?
Just talk to me.
Oh, yeah, Lloyd.
Yeah.
Well, he told me to go find another fuse box. So I went to the recycling yard, found the fuse box for it, and they began to do the work, swapping
Wait, hold
the
on,
fuse
slow
box.
down. So you went that day, you left the car with them, and then you went to the recycling place to get the fuse box? Why didn't they just get a fuse box if you brought it to them to fix?
He didn't say, he just said he needed another fuse box.
So you leave your car with them and go to the junkyard? Is that what you said?
Yeah, the car was still running. It's just
I'm just asking you what you did. You left the car with them and you went where?
To the junkyard to get
Which
the fuse
one?
box.
Where did you go?
I believe it's called AZ.
And you
Salvage yard.
bought the part,
Mm-hmm.
and then you drove back there.
Mm-hmm.
And why didn't you just have them do their job? Because most people wouldn't do what you just did.
Exactly.
Right.
It was the way it was going. We stay in a rural area. You know, he didn't have the transportation to go do it. And he was like, well, you know, you got another fuel box. Wait, I apologize, Your Honor. Oh, that's wrong. Matter of fact, I had the fuel box.
That's what they say. That's
Yeah,
why
I
I'm
had a
asking
fuel
you.
box.
So you had the
I had
fuse
already
box
bought, right.
with you already that you had
Yes.
already bought. Who had you buy that, or why did you buy that?
They told me it was fuel box. They couldn't fix the
Is it fuse box or fuel box?
Fuse.
Fuse box.
Electric.
Go
yeah.
on.
The ones you put the
Yep.
little plugs in.
So you already had it with you. Why?
Right. Because they said they couldn't find a problem with it by another fuel box.
Who's they?
The guys, them.
I'm sorry, you've confused me again. Did you already have a fuse box with you before you met them?
No.
They say you did, that you came with a fuse box.
No, they told me to go buy the fuel box.
Okay, so now we're back to the first scenario, which
Right.
is you go there, they say, you go buy us a fuse box.
They say
you leave
you
your
need another
car,
fuse box.
then you go and get a fuse box while you, so then why did you change it and say I already had it?
I couldn't remember really, Your Honor, because like I said, I had to.
According to them, you already had it and said, put in this fuse box.
No.
Okay. So now, according to you, you go out. Now we're back to scenario one. You go out, you buy a fuse box, you come back, you give it to them because they don't have parts at this repair shop, which is very strange because that's their business.
Right.
And then then they do what they were going to do. Did anybody ever run a diagnostic?
I had to go to another shop to get a diagnostics.
No, I don't mean later now that there's a lawsuit and everything else. I meant, did she say to you, let's run a diagnostic that'll cost you X?
No.
Okay. Did you ask them to run a diagnostic?
They said they would, upon giving them the card. They said, we're going to diagnostic, find the problem, and fix it.
Well, no. One thing is finding another thing is hooking it up to the machine and all that. What was your impression?
They don't even have that equipment, Your Honor.
Okay. So you take it, you leave it with them, and they charge you $350 to put in the fuse box.
To repair whatever was wrong.
Okay. Let me talk to you, and it didn't fix it, right?
No.
What happened instead?
I end up getting the diagnostics.
Wait, no. What happened exactly? You drive away and it's driving, and then when is the first time you notice a problem?
I got stuck at going to pick my medication up from
Was this the
Walmart.
same day, the next day, a week later,
Right,
when?
The next day.
Okay, the next day, what happens? When you say you got stuck, what does that mean?
I drove the car around, went to the grocery store, and went to pick up my medication from Walmart. And when I came out of Walmart, the car wouldn't crank again.
Okay,
I
so
had to
do you
sit
call
there
them
about
right
an hour or
away?
two. Yes.
And you tell them the problem isn't solved, and what do they say?
They said, bring the car back in.
Okay, and you do, and then what happens?
Call me, says ready, go get the car, bring it back. It's the same problem kept reoccurring.
It would last how long before reoccurring?
About a day and a half.
So in a week, you brought it there 3 times, you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
At
Do you have
least.
paperwork from each time you brought it
Yes,
there?
ma'am.
Let me see. And while he's looking for that, may I hear from you, Mr. Dizon? Do you remember this case actually or no?
I do, Your
Okay.
Honor.
All right. And so what happened here?
I was on vacation when all this thing happened. I
Oh,
was
so then
out
how do
of
you
the
remember this
country.
case? You just know it because people talk to you. You weren't present. You don't have firsthand knowledge.
Thank you.
Okay.
So
All right,
anyways,
go on.
he showed up about last week, and I was new to the case. I didn't even know about it until while he was there, I told him to give me a chance to understand what happened here. So I had my technician talk to me over the phone. It was on speaker, and Mr. Phillips was present in front in the counter, and he was listening to everything that happened, whatever my technician said. So he explained to me everything, and I came back to Mr. Phillips, but he doesn't seem like he's willing to listen to me because he already knew the story that
Okay,
my guy
my
was
question
saying.
to you is this. When he came to get a repair, did he already have the fuse box?
Actually, the day before he came to bring the fuse box, he came to notify us that he's coming to have his car fixed. So the following day, he came with the fuse box.
Okay, but why is the tail wagging the dog? You're supposed to be the experts. Why don't you tell him what's wrong with his car?
Actually, this is what happened. My technician, when he was talking to Mr. Phillips, my technician told him, we will need to do a diagnostic for us to understand, so we are not like grabbing this from the dark. We have to understand first what's going on. He said, no, I already bought this from the auction, this car, and I have a used fuse box here. I just want you to put it in. I don't have to pay for diagnostic. I just need you to put this in.
Okay, is all of that written on the receipt?
Yes.
No, it's not. I'm looking at the receipt. This is August 18. It just says fixed fuse box at $350.
The plaintiff says he took his car to another mechanic and was told the repair was unnecessary and he wants a refund. But the defendant says he wants to be done with this guy because he's a hothead. Let's listen.
When a customer rejects your advice, you're supposed to put it on the receipt so that you don't get
That he
blamed later.
declined.
Huh?
That he declined.
Yes. And that's not on here, is it? Do you
No,
have
it's
something
not.
else where it's on there?
It's not.
Right.
Because that is what was ordered to us.
It doesn't
So this
matter.
what
No,
we-
I don't know that. From looking at this, I don't know that. You know? And so, you know, what you have to say is we offered it, customer declined the service, blah, blah, blah. That's how you protect yourself. But in any event, you had said that I'm going to see 3 different times that you bring the car back. I only see what you've handed me, which is The first time when they charge you $350, and then the second time when they give you $200 back.
Right.
Right. Where are the other 2 times you brought it in? There's no paperwork from that?
Between those 2
How many times did he
dates,
bring it in?
I would say, according to my guys, about 3 or 4 times.
Okay, what would your guys do all the other times?
They were just checking that fuse box if there's anything wrong with it, because that was what was contracted to us to do.
So they're going to waste 4 times doing something because that's what he said to do, instead of trying to figure out what's wrong with the car?
Well, the third time that he came in, my guy observed that the battery post is corroded. So they replaced that battery post for him.
At no charge?
No, he paid like $20 for the battery post.
Did you pay $20
Yes,
to?
ma'am.
Yeah.
And I didn't need
okay.
it.
So, and then what?
That's about it. They just
All right,
check
so you
everything.
come in on September 16th, which is a month later, and you're angry that, this isn't working. When did you take it to someone else?
Right here, Your Honor.
Was it before you went to their shop on September 16th?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I figured. So you
It's
took
right
it
here.
somewhere else,
No,
and what did those folks
Before
tell
I
you?
took them to them? No.
Wait,
The
what?
only thing I had done to the car, because when I bought it from the auction, you buy as is.
Right.
And that's it. So I'm basically was troubleshooting it myself, ended up buying a starter.
Oh, that's just what
new
they were saying.
battery, and it still had the same
That you
problem.
bought it at auction and you're troubleshooting it yourself, and that's the problem. You misdiagnosed that it was a fuse box.
this was
All right,
way
just hold on
before.
1 second. What I want to see is, when do you find out what action? Okay, so this is on August 30th. This makes sense. You take it to Firestone, and they do a $110 diagnostic,
Yes, ma'am.
which you were trying to avoid,
Right.
and which is exactly what they say. And then
No, they were
intermittent
supposed
note
to do
start is warm,
diagnostics.
check tire service
I
light,
ain't no
customer.
electrician. I
Can
don't
you
know
stop
what to do.
talking?
Yes, ma'am.
Check tire service light, customer requested service, inflated tires to manufacturer specs, no issue found with no start. So they couldn't diagnose it either after you paid them the $110.
May I explain?
Yeah.
Okay, the problem is the box is plastic. So he said every time it get hot, it expand and the connection with
The box you bought?
the box that was in the car.
The box that you bought?
The box, I don't know if they swapped it or if he took parts off of it and swapped them in and out. I don't know what
Well,
they
you
did.
have
I'm
no
not
evidence of that.
electrician.
The box that you paid them to install that you bought at a junkyard is plastic and was getting hot, so it shouldn't be made out of plastic? I don't know what you're trying to say.
No, Your Honor, the car was having an issue before I bought the box. The whole new box was for that to, I don't know
So
what they
Firestone
was doing.
told
He me
you
to
the
go get
box
another
you bought.
No, Firestone said the box that was in there, they couldn't find the problem because the problem hadn't occurred. You understand what I'm saying?
Not in the slightest.
I'm sorry. Okay.
So I'm looking at what Firestone wrote. What they said is, we can't find a problem for why it's
Right.
not starting.
The only problem
they
they
charged you
found was the brake.
$110 and gave you no solution, which is exactly what you were
Right.
trying to avoid. Then I see that you took it somewhere else.
Once the problem started occurring again.
Well, no, the problem had already occurred because you already
Yeah,
brought it to them
but
for that. You brought it to them for
that's
that. You
what
told me
I
it was
trying to
happening every 2
explain to you
days.
What was going on when the box cools off, the connection come back and the car starts back up.
So on 9/9, you brought it to a third place. It says, diagnosed
Advanced,
engine does not
yes.
crank or start after being driven. Found broken ground wire for starter relay. Tech, Jose, broken air pipe to throttle body. What's that mean?
The throttle body was messed up before I took it to these guys. And after he did his last repair on it, I was
So they
fed up
charged you
and I
what
took it to
for the
him.
broken throttle body?
There's $300, and I didn't pay it yet because I haven't had the repair done yet. Because it wasn't nothing wrong with the car, Your Honor. The car ran perfect.
They
as
also
far
didn't
as-
put customer decline, which
Other
is
than
what they
it
should
not
put. So what's the
cranking.
100? So you paid another $100 for a diagnostic, and then $150 for them to fix the ground wire.
Mm-hmm.
Did that end up solving it?
Yes.
Okay, so it turns out you didn't spot it, he didn't spot it, Firestone didn't spot it.
Advanced technology.
Advanced spot it. Woohoo! Advanced level
Yes.
automotive.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So then now on September 16th, a few days after you take it to Advance, you go back to their store and you have a discussion with this gentleman's daughter. You're still on vacation, and what happens?
She told me, well.
What'd you say? You walk in and you talk first. What'd you say?
I said, well, y'all didn't fix the problem. I had to take my car to another shop, pay them to fix it. I want my money back.
What'd she say?
She said, well, she didn't want to pay me.
Right.
So that's when I went to the courts out there and filed the papers and brought the papers back. I was there at their business.
Okay, but you just showed her, look, I've got paperwork, I'm serious.
Yes.
Okay, and then what happens?
And then she said, well, could I give you $200 for you
And what
not
did you
to?
say?
I said, yes, I agree to it. And
Okay, now, so that's what we call in the law an accord and satisfaction. You guys settled it out of court, and then you came and sued for the rest of it anyway. In fact, you're suing for a lot more than it.
With the promise, Your Honor, that she will give me the 150 back when her pops returned in October.
I'm sorry, where is that on the piece of paper that she gave you that
That's on the other
day?
paper. That's why she wrote the little underline under the 200, because she still owed me 150.
I'm sorry. All this says on the total
No,
is
on the other
200.
Yeah.
That's all it says.
Okay,
and then
so
is
she
that
put
your
a little
signature
note
here?
under
Yeah.
it.
Your signature acknowledging getting the 200.
Yes, ma'am. But
Right.
with
How
the
is that supposed to?
promise-
I'm sorry. I've been doing this so long. How old are you?
I'm 53.
Yeah. I've been doing it almost as long as you've been alive.
Wow, you don't look that old.
I'm 61. I've been doing it since I was 23.
Welcome back to the People's Court. The question, did the defendant do a good job or was the plaintiff ripped off? Let's go back into the courtroom and find out.
I need you to listen to what I am telling you. This is a document that has you acknowledging receiving $200 as a settlement.
No.
Then prove it's not. Because that's what these documents are.
Why would I
When
settle for
just a second, when someone you're having a dispute with says, "Will you take 200?" and you take it, they don't expect you to sue them later for 500 on a $350 bill.
understand.
Don't talk and listen. What they expect is that it's done, that they've managed the problem and you're not going to file a lawsuit. If you want me to believe that the 200 was a down payment, show me a written document that says that. Do you have another written document?
It was word to word, Your Honor.
Watch this. Your daughter, you come home and your daughter tells you she gave him $200 to go away. Why did your daughter give him the $200?
Because he was raising hell in the shop, and my daughter was threatened that my company is going to be sued. So my daughter said, you know what? I'm not authorized to give a refund here until...
She's the manager.
Yes. So she
She's
said...
obviously authorized because she took the 200 and gave it to him.
Yeah, she said, okay...
You
can
got
just-
mad at your daughter for giving the 200, didn't you?
I was pissed.
Because?
Because out of principle, she's not supposed to do that, whichever practice she was doing out of her own good heart or out of just embarrassment. Because she doesn't want the other customers to be hearing
Were
him
there
because
other
he was
customers
raising hell.
there?
I'm sorry?
Were there other customers there?
Yes.
All right. So
And he was
how old is
raising
your
hell.
daughter? How old is your daughter?
She's about 42.
Oh, she's a woman. And so has she been working there for how long?
She's been there for 3 years.
And what's her
I'm so
title?
sorry, for 3 months.
3 months. Okay.
3 months, but she came from...
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
She came from the Philippines just to stand for me as a manager while I was gone.
Oh,
But
so
it's
she's she's no longer the manager.
Not anymore. She just left yesterday.
Back to the Philippines.
Yes.
Okay. So she gives him the $200 to make him go away, and then he doesn't go away, and now you're really mad about that $200 and you want him to return the $200 to you.
No, I only got mad when I found out
Because you have a
that she
counterclaim
did
against
that.
him for the $200.
Yeah, I was only mad when I found out that she did that. She said, "No, Dad, that's my money. I just gave it to him just for him to go away."
Wait,
because
she
he was
gave
going
it
to
out of
sue
her
you."
own money?
Her own
and
money.
you're still mad?
I'm still mad? Yes, I am, because of what she did. I think that's
Did you
plain
pay her
stupidity.
back the $200 out of
No.
the corporate funds?
No. No.
Did you
Just to
pay
teach
her to
her-
cover for you?
Yes,
I hope you paid her handsomely.
she did. I did.
Okay. Folks, let me tell you what this is. This is what we call in the law a settlement. And if you want to prove otherwise, you better come in here with something other than your flapping gums. Because when you accept 200 from someone who says, will you accept 200, when you're having a dispute with them, you say, you owe me my money back. I'm not going to give you your money back. Well, I want my money back. I really do want it. And she says, will you take 200? You take 200. You don't get to come to court and sue for an additional 550. But also, I say to you, this is an accord and satisfaction. So you also can't file the counterclaim against him. So on your counterclaim 0, and on your claim against him, shouldn't have taken the $200 if that wasn't enough. Verdict for the defendant.
Thank you.
So in the suit and countersuit between these two parties, it ends up a 0-0 tie. Nobody gets anything. Let's see how Mr. Phillips feels. He's the plaintiff in this case. Mr. Phillips, what's your reaction to the judge's verdict? You don't get anything.
Well, I really don't like it. And my issue is, why would she tell me I'll She'll give me the 150 up on her father's return, and why would I come back to the shop for the 150 if that wasn't true?
You couldn't prove she said that.
True.
So that's your problem.
I know. And I know not to make
Okay.
that mistake again.
All right, Mr. Phillips, thank you very much.
Okay.
Let's see what the defendant feels about this. He'd been suing for $200. He's not going to get that either. Mr. Dizon, what's your feeling?
I say justice is served. That's all I can say.
Well, that's good enough. If justice is served, you're in the right place. You're in a courtroom, and that's the way it goes in court. Okay? You learn anything from this experience?
Nothing really, because everything that we had done is within industry standard.
You think if this happens again, your daughter would refund money like she did with Mr. Phillips?
I don't think that would happen because now she's back to the Philippines where she was before.
Well, absolutely, she won't be giving it back if she's in the Philippines. No question about that. All right. Thank you very much, okay? That's the way it goes. Harvey, what are you thinking?
So, Doug, this is a case where you get one bite of the apple. If you settle the case, even if you settle it for less than you think you deserve, you can't go back into court and say, look, I want the rest of my money. Once you actually engage in a settlement and it's a done deal, that's it. You can't return for a second chance.
What is the one item of John's you'd like to burn, and vice versa?
Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
You've got some shoes that have gotten long in the tooth
Oh
that
my
maybe.
God. I have shoes that are 30 years old.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Right?
Some of them need to go. You need to kind of
They're
spruce that
sold.
up.
They're coming back into style.
Except for that they have 30 years of wear on them.
Right, and holes in the bottom.
They're ridiculous. You should get
I have
rid of them.
with
A
holes in
couple
the
of them.
bottom,
Yeah. I mean, you're pretty up to date on your clothes, except for your T-shirts.
I've got some T-shirts that you could read a newspaper through.
Yeah,
They've
those are
been
the
washed
best,
so
though.
many times.
The
there's
kids
nothing
and I
left.
love those.
They're soft. They're so thin. There's nothing left of them. They're 30
Some of them are
years old.
holy. They just have holes
Absolutely.
all over
Yes,
them.
yes,
I
absolutely.
don't mean the good holy either. They're ridiculous. But then some of them are great, like old band shirts and stuff, and so
That's
they're kind of fun.
Yeah, from way back.
And you have Buffalo Police Department shirts from when your parents were cops. And
I have that one shirt I have from the Buffalo Police Athletic Club is probably 40 years old.
right. And one of the girls took it, and the other girls got really mad.
Right. They've taken so many of my shirts, all my old
They're
law
inveterate
enforcement
thieves,
shirts,
yeah.
Operation Greenback,
Yeah.
this other stuff. But I got to show you. I have a picture of something.
I didn't approve this.
that
Hold
you,
on.
Something that you have gotten a lot of mileage out of wearing. So
I'm gonna kill
don't
you in a
get
second.
mad. Don't get mad. Now wait a minute. Here we go. These pajamas have been worn absolutely to death. All right?
You know what? I'm going to wear them every day for the rest of my life now. I'll teach you.
They're getting threadbare.
I love those pictures. You know what? I'm wearing them every day, and I'm throwing out
God.
your shoes. How's that?
I'll get back at you.